Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Shinju. I sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that when who else would be talking in these videos. But anyway, it's me. Welcome back to another speed build. Just so you know, a lot of these builds are kind of older stuff that I've created in The Sims. I mentioned in my previous video that I've been obsessed with Final Fantasy XIV, and I do plan on putting videos here in the future of me playing Final Fantasy XIV with the rest of my free company. However, I tend to curse a lot in a lot of our content. So we do raid a lot. And so if I get a little frustrated, I tend to curse a lot. So I don't know. Probably not the best thing to upload on YouTube. We'll see. But I do try to stream it a lot on my Twitch channel. So if you follow me on Twitch, you'll definitely see me just a tiny bit more active on there. And then sometimes my builds too, like when I play The Sims, I stream. And so a lot of my speed builds, you've probably seen it on there. But anyway, today, this one I call a provincial home just because it kind of reminds me of provincial homes from the province that I come from. And yeah, in my last video I did try something different where there was no background music. I'm not a big fan of it just because I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice. And so on this one, as you've noticed, I've added some background music because it was just kind of weird for me. Like I don't know. It's just when I stop talking and there's just a lapse of conversation, I'm like, this is kind of awkward. It's actually really quiet. So yeah, the music is coming back. I'm sorry. So because this is an older build, just like the previous one, I don't have access to a lot of the newer stuff. Although I think it came out pretty good, kind of rustic-ish looking, so I'm happy with that. As you can see, I was trying to make blue as kind of the accent color of this house. I don't know, I feel like I went a little overboard, but it is what it is. So lately I've been having some trouble with newer builds. I don't know if it's just because I'm not as inspired to build new stuff, but I find myself starting things and being like, oh, this is great, this is gonna be amazing, and then just giving up halfway through, and I'm like, I'm done, and that's it, it's just, I'm trying my best, I swear. I started a new Pinterest board on my Pinterest with Sims 4 house ideas. But I mean, we'll see. Right now I do still have a lot of older videos of older builds, so that's what I'm trying to fill out or use to, just, you know what I mean. I'm sorry, I'm babbling. But one of my good friends actually left a comment on my previous builds, and she said I should do some builds with public spaces. Did I say that right? Yes, builds of public spaces. So I think that's a very interesting idea because I haven't really done that. And to be honest, I really want to build my own police station, which would probably be a couple videos long because the police station is huge, and I feel like you put so much stuff into it, and obviously you want to fill it out a little bit more so it looks a little lived in too. So that's one of the things I want to do. I also really want to kind of make my own restaurant or cafe. I think I did build one, one of my super early builds. I don't remember if I even uploaded it, but I know I made one. Super small, super cute. Maybe I can make something again in the future, but we'll see. Lots of ideas. Don't know if I have enough time. As of today, in my last video I did mention what date it was, and it's just been a few days since then, so we are still in shelter in place, which means we're all staying at home and we only go out for necessities. Thankfully, I think I mentioned this in my previous video too, one of my coworkers found water, and I was so glad that she did, because the 2 stores that I went to close by to our house were completely just out of water, and I personally drink a lot of water, so I had a bit of a little panic attack, I guess you can say. But sorry, going back to the build, this is pretty much what the house looks like on the outside, like the structure. Obviously I spruced it up a little bit more, so we picked the flooring, which took me a while. I couldn't figure out like what I wanted to do for some reason, and then I was like, oh, let me change the color of these stairs too. But I do add some greenery. I don't landscape as much in this video, and to be honest, I don't landscape a lot to begin with, so you know. But anyway, I probably really should have just used a single bed for this one, just because I feel like this bed took up way too much space. But I don't know, the single beds just look so weird to me. Like, I feel like they're just so tiny, which is funny because, fun fact, I actually don't tend to move a lot when I sleep, or at least I think so. I personally think I don't move a lot, but my dog probably thinks otherwise, and my husband probably thinks otherwise. But just based off of like what I've heard from people before, I don't tend to move a lot, and I just tend to stay in one space. And I think it's because I personally like being in between like 2 pillows, or if I can have like my bed against the wall like here in this build, even better, just because I have this weird thing where my back has to be against something, and I personally feel safer. So fun fact about me, I like to sleep with my back against something. But anyway, going back, I want to say I don't move too much else in this build. Like, I don't change a lot of the stuff. And I don't think I clutter up this space as much either, I want to say. I don't remember. Sometimes I'm really into this mood where like I just want to clutter, and then there are other times where I'm like, no, don't freaking clutter. Oh well, I do change a few things actually, never mind. Huh. I really went all out blue with that bathroom, I don't even remember that. But anyway, as you can see, blue, I think I mentioned this earlier, is the accent color for this build. I really wanted to use these arches, but I don't know, it just wasn't looking as nice to me, at least. And then here we are with, I think I tiled it up at first just until I figured out what I wanted to do, but I eventually do put hedges on that, and then obviously instead of tile I change it to like grass. And then just obviously putting curtains because we don't want people I was hoping we could get through this video without me doing that, but anyway, curtains because we don't want people peeping in. I absolutely love plants. If you don't know that, a lot of my builds tend to have plants, sometimes not just one in like, you know, a corner, but there's like 3, sometimes 2, which in real life we don't have a lot of plants in the house, unfortunately. My auntie did give me a spider plant for Christmas, and as you know, spider plants are indoor plants, and I couldn't take it inside because my husband said he doesn't like it. And I kept fighting for it. I'm like, no, we have to bring it inside. It's actually good for the air, you know, but he's like, well, if we bring it inside, then I can take out all of the succulents in the front yard. And I was like, no. And so it's just been outside, and actually it's dying a little bit, and sorry, my nose is a little running. It's dying a little bit because obviously, again, it's an indoor plant, but it's outside. And I want to say I take pretty good care of my plants. Like, I'm not like my mom, where I have the opposite of a green thumb and I just kill everything. But obviously that made me a little upset when I saw it start to, you know, And I really should have just given it to one of my friends instead of keeping it. But I didn't have time, so I'll probably have to toss it in the green bin a little later when it dries out a bit more. I do want to do a bit of yard work this week too. So again, we're still in that shelter in place thing. So lots of stuff for me to do, like clean the house, do the yard, do the laundry, and I mean, there's only so much you can do. To be honest, I was playing Final Fantasy 14 yesterday, and I was just like, I'm bored. Like, is there anything else I can do? But eventually I started playing Tomb Raider again, like revisited old games. Started playing the piano a bit again. I mean, there's so much I can do that I'm just like, a little overwhelmed, I guess. That there's just so much I can do now that I'm at home. And it's funny because I always, would joke around with one of my coworkers and be like, I need a break, but this isn't the kind of break I was talking about. So, yeah, I mean, at the same time, as much as people are trying to be positive during this, difficult time, I can understand why it's important, obviously, to stay at home and do all that, but it is driving me a little nuts. And I think it's just because I fully expected to be able to go back to work or to still be at work and do things normally. And I tried to be very good about balancing things like work, and obviously when I'm at home, enjoy myself, do a bit of the chores. Although there were some weeks where I did want like a longer break. But again, this isn't what I was talking about. I'm sorry, I need to stop rambling because I'm just making myself upset. Back to the build. Again, as you can see, plants everywhere. No, not really. I don't think in this build I put a lot of plants, but I did clutter it up as best as I could. It's funny because sometimes I'll put these shelves and be like, why did I think it was a good idea to put a shelf that high? Like, can my sim realistically even reach that? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that funny that, like, you put things and you're like, how does this make sense? It looks cute, but it doesn't quite make sense. And then you see yourself while you're editing like, why did I think that was a good idea? Anyway, I want to say I still have a bit of trouble like cluttering. As much as I love clutter, I'm not the best at it, and it takes me like a really, really long time. And I don't know if it's like a perception thing, like where I have a bit of trouble lining them up, and then I just completely give up. I think later on I do move this dresser around because I realized I wanted to put windows on that side of the wall. I don't remember if I keep the windows or take them out, but it's just like I felt like this room was just very closed off, and so I wanted to put more windows. Oh, and then I just realized I put ceiling fans. Smart. So ceiling fans are a big thing, at least. I mean, there was only really one home that I went to as a kid in the province, and it was my grandparents, and we had a ton of ceiling fans all throughout. And to be honest, as nice as they were, because it does help circulate the air, they weren't very strong, and it was always just so hot. And like, to give you an idea, our province is pretty close to the beach, so yeah, there are some cool days, but when it's hot and humid, and it's the worst. Like, even if we have the AC on, like the bedrooms have AC, but like the living room, where we have the dining table and everything, no, it is hot as heck. But even though, again, wearing the AC, excuse me, that was my phone. I'm sorry, I forgot to put it on silent. But again, even with the AC, we still got really, really sweaty, and it was just gross. And I remembered sometimes when it was just so hot and I like did not know what to do with myself, I would just force myself to take a nap. Just because it's too hot to like go outside, it's too hot to do this. I was like, I'm just gonna nap. Just nap. I think we're nearing the end of this video, so I really should wrap up what I'm trying to say, or what I've been saying. I don't even remember what I was saying anymore. I'm sorry. This is just the silliest voiceover ever. But it is what it is, because I don't want to re-record this. Anyway, again, it's just been a few days since my last video, so we're still in shelter in place, and I hope everybody has been doing, their part in making sure, the curve flattens. So again, please stay home. Please, just keep up your best hygiene practices, and just be kind and be mindful of others, because it's a tough time, and like there's just no room right now to be selfish. I mean, there really is no room to be selfish to begin with, but just again, be mindful of others, because you don't know what they're possibly going through. You don't know who's in their household that may need something. So I mean, thankfully some groceries right now have like a specific time for like seniors, and they are putting limits in like, how much bottled water you buy or how much TP you buy, I guess. But again, just be mindful of others, because we're all in this together and we have to help each other. Yeah. Well, here are the screenshots of this space, and I really love how this turned out, simple as it is. Again, thank you so much for your patience and for your support. Take care, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.